This video is sponsored by BetterHelp.
Salut, je m'appelle Simon, je suis boucher en France et tu regardes French Guy Cooking pour faire un tartare de bœuf.
I thought it would be cool to review an old video of mine and see how much things have changed since I filmed this. I want an old recipe video to find out if my way of cooking has changed over time. Once I've reviewed it, I'm gonna make the recipe again, but change it to suit how my tastes are now. The one I want to review is the tartare video. This video was filmed 9 years ago. I haven't seen this video in 9 years. I know this is gonna be cringing, okay? I know this is gonna be embarrassing and I'm already starting to feel the unease. So let's just have a sip of tea. Liquid courage.
Salut, je m'appelle Simon, je suis français et tu regardes French Guy qui fait un tartare de bœuf avec la viande de la boucherie.
So this is Simon, he's my butcher. He looks so young on this video. Sorry Simon, but you've aged, like dry aged beef almost.
Salut guys, I'm Alex, welcome to French Guy Cooking, welcome to this wonderful fresh.
I also look pretty young in this video, but I still got my signature eye bags.
Today we are making a French beef tartare.
I mean, the tartare looks amazing. Already I can tell that this is gonna be tough to do better than this.
Tell your butcher you're making this tartare because you have to get fresh meat, not matured meat.
Oh, that's interesting. I guess it makes sense because you wanna limit the risk when you're eating raw meat. So the fresher it is, the safest it should be. I'm not so sure about this.
Chop some pickled cucumbers. It balances the meat well. Organic egg yolk goes in.
Wow.
Of course organic.
A video presenting how to eat raw meat is already plenty controversial. But in this video, it seems like it's not enough. So I just added a raw egg yolk.
A teaspoon mustard, ketchup, Worcestershire sauce.
I still can't pronounce that word. Worcestershire?
Worcestershire.
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 Hello there, my name's Josh and I'm Alex's editor. And I'm also British. I feel like it's my responsibility to set this straight. Most of us here in the UK just refer to this as Liam Perrins. But if you really want to pronounce it, it's Worcestershire. Worcestershire sauce. You're welcome.
Using a bit of ketchup, a bit of mustard, a bit of Worcestershire sauce is very classic, very common in French bistro or brasserie here in Paris. I'm not so sure I want to do that. Using all these sauces works if the beef has no flavor, but what if the beef has flavor? Then it's going to be masking what the dish is all about.
To plate this dish, you might use a cookie cutter, but if you don't have any, like me, you can also use a perfect cheat on it. Aluminium foil band, folded several times into a circle shape.
You can see that I already was a maker at that time. I could make cookie cutter with aluminium foil. Good job. I'm glad I improved on this one.
Remove and boom. It gives a nice shape. Top it up with a few salad rocket leaves and a bit of chopped.
I don't think I would add the rocket leaves today. It doesn't look bad, it looks beautiful, but it's just too much herbs on this meat. It's a meat dish.
Like, comment, share, subscribe, but most important, stay hungry because I got much more coming up.
So, it wasn't as embarrassing as I thought it would be. But if I were to do it again, there are a few things that I would change, that I'm gonna change. I want to make an updated version of this tartare recipe. I want it to reflect things that I like. The original one that I made was a bistro style tartare that you would get anywhere here in Paris. It's very tasty, but it might lack a bit of originality. So the classic tartare is fresh beef, shallot, capers, pickles, ketchup, mustard, Worcestershire, egg yolk, chive, parsley, salt, pepper, oil, anchovies. And now for the new tartare. So I'm going for dry aged beef. Why? I did a whole series about dry aged beef. But when you taste dry aged beef, you cannot untaste it. Buttery, mushroomy, blue cheesy. Oh. And it's very addictive. Shallots, no. Semi-sweet type of onions instead. Capers, yes, because you need a bit of bitterness.
Pickles, for sure, you need acidity. Ketchup, no. Mustard, yes. Mustard goes in. Worcestershire, sure, few drops. Egg yolk, I'd say no, because I feel like it's too much. Chive, no. Parsley, sure. Salt, yes. Pepper, of course. Oil. Since I'm not using any egg yolk, I'm gonna need a bit more richness than just the oil I used in the video, which was very neutral. So olive oil, anchovies, yes. Then mushroom could be nice. Touch of garlic. Cool. At the greengrocers, I saw some ingredients like this radicchio, for example, that were not on my list. But they capture my imagination, they were fresh and vibrant, so I decided to try and incorporate them. It always happens to me. You get a plan, but depending on what you find, the plans are changing.
Salut. Ça va et toi? Ouais, super. Tu vas bien? Simon, j'ai un truc à te montrer.
Pardon, excusez-nous, monsieur. Désolé.
Je sais pas si tu te rappelles ou pas.
Pas du tout.
Tu te rappelles pas?
Non. Salut, je m'appelle Simon, je suis français et tu regardes French Guy qui fait un tartare de bœuf avec la viande de la boucherie. Ah, c'est génial. J'étais jeune là?
Ouais.
Quel âge?
C'était il y a 9 ans.
Il y a 9 ans?
Ouais.
So I asked Simon if using dry aged beef for my tartare instead of fresh beef would be a good idea, and his response was very positive. He told me I think it would make the beef shine more. So even though we're going for dry aged beef, Simon suggested not to go for a marbled cut of beef.
Et du coup, dis-moi alors, donc ça c'est de la normande.
Ouais, on va partir sur de la normande maturée. On est
Combien de jours?
Là, on est sur 40 jours de maturation.
En anglais, ça se dit comment, tu sais ou pas?
Elbone. Elbone.
We went for a pretty lean cut of dry aged beef called the elbow.
Et ce morceau-là, il a quoi de spécial?
Bah ça, c'est un morceau qui est pas trop gras. T'as pas trop de graisse de couverture. T'as quand même l'os, il y a du goût, tu vois, même à la couleur, tu vois, quand on...
Et l'avantage de pas avoir trop de gras, c'est quoi par rapport au tartare?
Bah pour le trop de gras dans le tartare.
On va l'enlever de toute façon.
Ouais, quand c'est froid, le tartare, enfin le gras froid, c'est pas terrible.
Salut Simon.
Merde,
Salut Simon.
Okay, let's go back and make my updated version of a beef tartare. Let's see what I got today. Okay, and now a quick word from our sponsor, BetterHelp. In general, if you're going through a hard time, therapy can give you the tools you need to face challenges and to face life in general in order to move forward. So today I want to tell you about our sponsor BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable and more accessible. And this is an important mission because finding a therapist can be really hard, especially when you're limited to the options in your area. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easier because it's online, it's remote, and by filling out a few questions, BetterHelp can match you to a professional therapist in as little as a few days. There's a link in my description, it is betterhelp.com/Alex. Clicking that link helps support this channel, but it also gets you 10% off your first month of BetterHelp so you can connect with a therapist and see if it helps you. And because finding a therapist is a bit like dating, if you don't really fit with that therapist, which is a very common thing with therapy, you can easily switch to a new therapist at no additional cost without stressing about insurance, who's in your network or anything like that. So if you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or visit betterhelp.com/Alex. Thank you again BetterHelp for sponsoring this video. Right, so what I need to do right now is very simple. I need to cut everything in pieces. Gotta think about texture, flavors. I love the color on these onions. They're not red, they're not white, they're just pink. And they are, you know, in between being sweet and being raw and pungent. Mushroom and dry aged beef, they have this common funk to them. Gotta think about colors. It's almost about being maniacal, obsessive, crazy. Let's go! Look at this. Look at that, huh?
Wow, that's juicy, bitter. This is something I love to do when I cook. Taste. It just builds up a picture in my mind. The red part is pretty bitter, but the white is almost sweet. So maybe this one I'm gonna do it again. This I'm gonna keep, I'm gonna put it in a salad. But I feel like it's about this color. Capers. You wanna have a few that remain intact, I think. Parsley, watercress, peppery but very juicy. It's almost like mustard. Obviously you don't want too much of that stuff. So on this plate, I've got everything already chopped up. Garlic, gherkins, parsley, watercress, capers, radicchio, mushrooms, and sweet onions. I don't have to use everything, but at least I've got the different flavors that I can use. Right, let's tackle the main stuff, the meat. First, I'm making slices, then I'm making strips, and then I'm making dice. Right, so last chapter, I need to adjust the quantities of each ingredient. I'm gonna coat the meat with a bit of oil. I'm being pretty liberal with olive oil because I'm not gonna add any egg yolk afterwards. So oil before salt, before pepper, before any acid. Because if you add any acid to it, the meat is gonna go gray or white. Oh, I forgot the anchovies. Anchovies and beef, best friend in this world. Let's go for 1.5. Bit of salt, black pepper. I'm gonna go for this much, that much. Pickles, anchovies, capers. I was supposed to use mustard because mustard is part of the original recipe. But as I was shopping for herbs and mushrooms, I noticed some watercress with loads of kick, like mustard. So I'm just gonna go for more watercress. Right now I'm trying to understand, do I need this also? Yeah, maybe a few drops. Okay, maybe a touch more oil, I feel. Oh, I forgot the garlic. The tip of a knife. Even though it's just the tip of a knife, I can smell the garlic. One last taste. Like a bit of salt and acid. So let's go with more capers. Plating. Right now there is no mustard, nor is there any egg yolk. I don't know if it's gonna stand on its own. Wish me luck on this one. Ouais! Victoire! Just a touch of salt on the top. Nice pepper like this. Last drizzle of olive oil like this. Am I looking to have the same experience that I had 9 years ago? No. The tartare I made 9 years ago was great. It was exactly like you would have a tartare in a bistro in Paris. This one is a bit more like Alex. More complicated on some sides, but also trying to get to the essence of things in general. Okay, I'm just gonna go for it. Beef. Even before I chewed on this, I smelled it. Salt, acid, bitterness, a few textures, capers, a bit of heat from the watercress. It's amazing. Doesn't need mustard. Doesn't need ketchup. The fact that we're using dry aged beef is helping with the richness. Doesn't need an egg yolk. Also, I like the fact that it's slightly falling apart, on the brim of collapsing. Okay, a touch of uncertainty. I like this. So I'm thinking, because this one is lacking ketchup, mustard, and egg yolk, it might not be as much of a whole as the first one, but it's way more alive. I can sense the freshness of all these elements. So I just asked Lou, my dear camera operator, if he wanted a piece, but he said, I'm not against it, but I never ever tried beef tartare. And I said, shut up, this is impossible. I don't want to force him. Don't feel forced to try it.
I'm gonna do it. Yeah. I've never tried because I never wanted raw meat, but I could eat this. I think you just beat the old Alex.
I wouldn't blame my old me. The recipe was well executed, but lacking a bit of interpretation. The new tartare is a good resume of all the series that I've made over the years. Dry aged beef, that's where I learned about all the funky flavors and how addictive this type of meat can be. Then I'm seeing some sort of a ramen vibe going on here, because I've understood during the ramen series the importance of umami. Anchovies, full of umami. Mushroom, full of umami. Worcestershire sauce, full of umami as well. I was using salt in the past, but now I'm using salt that I've harvested myself. Because I've been in the salt marches, I've tasted the delicate crunch of what's called fleur de sel. The new tartare is more me now than it used to be. If you want to see me revisit old videos of mine, leave me a comment and let me know which one I should revisit. And we're gonna catch up in the next one, okay? Bye, salut.